If I was coming here for a short visit, and I was sure I probably wouldn't ever return, these are the places I wouldn't want to miss. Note, these are all places I have visited and experienced personally, so I'm talking about things that I know about. And this is also what I think is achievable in about 6 or 7 days. Now, 2 tips before we get started. Don't come to Taiwan in summer. That's from May to August. It's just too damn hot. Period. Also, don't come during a national holiday, especially at Chinese New Year. I've talked about this in some of my other videos. Just don't do it. You're not going to have as an enjoyable time if you do that than if you came during a time when there wasn't a national holiday. Okay, so let's dive right in. Now, number 1, Taipei 101 and Elephant Mountain. Now, I kind of put these two together because you can kind of do them in one day and they kind of relate to each other. So, Elephant Mountain, what is that? Elephant Mountain is a very, very large mountain that is close to Taipei 101. It has its own MRT station dedicated to it. It's called Songshan Station. And you can go there and walk right out of the MRT station, walk right up to the foot of the mountain, and there is a long, long staircase that'll take you up to some pretty awesome viewing points where you can get some awesome photographs of Taipei 101. Okay, so now Taipei 101. What is Taipei 101? Well, at one point it was the tallest building in the world, and well, now it's only the 8th because some other countries and some other people decided that they wanted to do one better. So Taipei 101 is just really, really awesome because down at the bottom there is all kinds of shopping and restaurants and stuff like that, and it's like really, really good stuff. Also, you can take their elevator ride to the top, which has an observatory. Now, the elevator is incredibly, incredibly fast. It will shoot you up there. I think it's the fastest elevator in the world. And once you get up there, you have spectacular views of all of Taipei and some parts of New Taipei City. It is just awesome. It's just straight up awesome. Don't miss your chance to go to one of the tallest buildings in the world. Okay, next we have Sun Yat-sen and Chiang Kaishek Memorial Halls. I also kind of put these two together because they're kind of related. So both of these have their own dedicated MRT stations to them. Sun Yat-sen is dedicated to Sun Yat-sen. So who was Sun Yat-sen? Sun Yat-sen was one of the key founders of the modern Republic of China, which, if you know anything about history, is technically what Taiwan is today. It is technically the Republic of China. And inside his memorial hall, you can see there's plaques, there's paintings, there's a giant bronze statue of the man himself, and there's a pretty cool changing of the guard ceremony. So it's definitely worth checking out. And the same goes for Chiang Kai-shek Memorial Hall, which is just bigger. And on the sides you have like a national, I think it's like a national concert hall. And on the other side, I forget, there's a couple halls on each side. But then in the middle, the big white building is itself the Chiang Kai-shek Memorial Hall. And just like Sun Yat-sen Memorial Hall, there is a changing of the guard ceremony. There's all kinds of historical stuff in there. And there's a giant bronze statue of Chiang Kai-shek, the man himself, right? So it's definitely worth checking these things out because Taipei, being the capital of Taiwan, it kind of reminds me of Washington, D.C., being the capital of the United States. There's monuments, there's memorials, and that stuff is worth checking out. It is it's the culture, it's the history of the nation, you know. Okay, so now on to number 3. And that would be the Xinbeitou Hot Springs. And with the Xinbeitou Hot Springs, you have a dedicated MRT station. It's Xinbeitou MRT station. Now, hot springs are hot springs. They are geothermal. It's water heated by the earth that reeks of sulfur, but is really, really good for your skin, and it's just really, really soothing for the muscles. It's just awesome. I just love it. Now, there's two ways to do the Xinbeitou Hot Springs. You can either do it in a hot spring hotel where they will pipe in the hot spring water, right? And you can pay and you can stay there just like one night, overnight. Or you can do an outdoor hot spring, which is just open to, open to the public, and you can choose a number of different pools. I think there's I remember the one we went to had 3 different levels of heat. You can just sit in there with all the other people in their bathing suits and just relax and enjoy. And it's just awesome. I love it. I can't wait to go back. Okay, now onward to number 4. You really, if you're going to come to Taiwan or anywhere in East Asia, but especially Taiwan, you need to hit up a night market. Night markets are just critical. These are it's an important part of the culture. Night markets are where a ton of people get together with food stands and with clothing stands and with all kinds of other merchandise, and they just sell everything in one area. They have fantastic food at these night markets, and they have just cool stuff and just cool things going on. I love how alive night markets are. There are people everywhere, and it's just, you see things, you get the sights and the smells. You're not going to get that anywhere in the U.S. You're not going to find anything like that in the U.S., at least not that I ever experienced. And I don't think you'll really find anything like that in, in most of the Western world. These night markets have their own sights and smells, and they're alive. It's like a living organism, these things. It's just incredible to be around. And there's 2 of them that I would like to mention here. There's obviously the big one that you're gonna find out if you do any kind of Googling on Taiwan, which is Shilin Night Market, which is fine, right? That's the big one, that's the big touristy one. But one that I would like to recommend that is kind of less talked about, but is really, really good, is called Raohe Night Market. Raohe Night Market it's a little bit smaller than Shilin Night Market. There's less tourists at Raohe Night Market, but it's got fantastic food. It's still alive. It's got all the people walking around and the sights and the smells and everything, and it's definitely worth the experience. Okay, so don't you miss that. Don't you miss night markets.